If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another episode of Under the Radar for you guys. Yeah, this week, for the weekend of June 30th, not a whole lot of releases that kind of grabbed my attention and want to check out, apart from two, and I'm talking about two albums from June 30th that I wanted to cover. So, just a forewarning, both death metal albums, but very different styles of death metal. So we kick things off with Coffin Mulch with Spectral Intercession. So this is a Scottish death metal band, and, well, this sounds much more like Swedish death metal. It's that HM2 tone, which, of course, if you guys who have watched this channel for a while now, you will know I fucking love HM2 guitars. So the HM2 on full display, and holy bollocks. And also, apparently, I heard that Dan Swano actually mastered this album. So, of course, I was going to be curious to check it out regardless, because it's Dan Swano doing some production work. So, this album, yeah, it's very much HM2 death metal. It's more like punky and thrashy, with like little nods of doom kind of thrown into the mix, I would say. But this is straight up old school death metal. Not only does it make me think of bands like Entombed and Dismember, but even like a recent band like Bastard Grave, or hell, even like Death Breath and Nihilist. Like, it's kind of a hodgepodge of everything Swedish death metal is all about, minus the blast beats. Like, there's not a whole lot of blast beats going on here, if any at all. This is mostly just punk forward, thrashy. Though my main complaints were it does kind of go down that old school well a little bit too much, but they do it pretty well for the most part. But the big issue I kind of had, the vocals were a little strange. Like, they kind of sounded like a hybrid of early LG Petrov and the vocalist of Amoebix, which, mashing those together, it made this album kind of sound a little bit more like crust punk than death metal vocally. But aside from that, this was a pretty solid album. I give it 7.5 out of 10. There's definitely potential here with Coffin Mulch. Hopefully more is to come, and we'll see where it goes from here. But now on to the big guns. The final album I'm talking about is Static Abyss with Aborted from Reality. So this is a California death doom band. And, well, it features Chris Reifert and Greg Wilkinson from Autopsy. So I immediately figured we're going to hear some similarities to Autopsy, and boy is it, but I'd say there's more to it than just sounding just like Autopsy. Like, this album, I would say, is a little more doom-laden than, say, like the last Autopsy album, which I did review last year, Morbidity Triumphant. This album has far more doom going for it. Still, the occasional like punky and thrashy bits kind of pop up here and there with some D beats, some thrash metal parts. But I would say the thing that I would say separates this from Autopsy, this sounds far more sinister and evil sounding. Like, there's some like nasty, evil tremolo riffs that kind of made me think of early Morbid Angel. Like, this almost feels like a hybrid of classic Autopsy and early Morbid Angel, but bringing in a little bit of that extra cavernous sound of a band like Incantation I get from time to time. But this album just flat out destructive, gruesome, evil, heavy, all things early, like late 80s death metal. So if you are a fan of bands like Autopsy, Morbid Angel, Early Death, and Incantation, this is going to be one for you. I had a blast with this one. 9 out of 10. This was some fucking awesome death doom right here that just feels like old school death metal played at its slowest pace possible. But anyways, that does it for this week's Under the Radar. What did you guys think of these albums? Of course, they're both in the description box below for you to check out. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.